Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Fan Experience. We are, glad to be here for episode 51. We're through 50 episodes, so thank you, everybody, for joining us and supporting the show. We have, a great time doing it. For those of you joining us for the first time, my name is Mike Katos. I am your host. Alongside me is my co-host, Rick Molina. Rick, how we doing?
Oh, man, Mike, couldn't be better, man. What a weekend of football. Championship weekend lived up to the hype. The Brady Packers, Brady Rogers duel, the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes duel. It was an incredible weekend. So doing well, but now that we're opening it up, wanted to get your thoughts. First of all, we talk about Kobe Bryant. We miss Kobe Bryant. We want to send our condolences again to the family. And I can't believe it's been a year since those tragic events of last year took place. And, we think about Kobe and what the impact and the legacy that he's left behind. But, more importantly, the Mamba mentality. But, always in our thoughts, the great Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, that Mamba mentality and just the ethic, the work ethic that he's always put into everything, and what he was trying to do for women's basketball, and tragically cut short. Including his very talented daughter, and and all the other people that were in the helicopter as well. So I don't want their lives to mean nothing either. So thoughts and prayers to everybody that was involved in that tragic accident. And, obviously that it was really that was the first domino to fall. When it came to 2020, like it was downhill from there.
Yeah.
And, but we're in 2021 and, vaccines are starting to get rolled out, and, hopefully we can get back to a little bit of normalcy. But we are here to bridge that gap for you.
That's right.
And, if you noticed our description for this show and our caption for the show, we titled it Three Kings, technically four, because you have to consider Kobe. But we have our guest tonight. His name is King Sharif. He will be joining us in just a few minutes. But, they crowned kings of the NFC and the AFC this weekend. So let's start it off with the first game. Yeah. And that was Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady going head-to-head at Lambeau Field. First time at Lambeau Field in the playoffs for Brady. And, boy, did those Bucs get off to a really hot start. And then, all of a sudden, before the half, giving up a touchdown to Scotty Miller.
Oh, my God.
Was just too much to come back from. And it proved to be too much to come back from. I feel like the Packers gave the Bucs too many chances. You cannot pick off Tom Brady 3 times and only end up with 7 points off of 3 turnovers. They picked off Rodgers once and got 7 points off of the 1 turnover. So you're not going to win the game. And I know the big hot button issue is, why did you go for a field goal down 8? And to be completely honest with you, I don't hate it as much as the rest of the world does, because I don't think they should have went for 2 earlier in that game, because they handicapped themselves then. If they kicked the extra point there, then they'd be down 7, and then you have to go for a touchdown. But also, you had 15 yards of open space, Rodgers. Why can't you just run it into the end zone? If you couldn't figure that out, that's probably what LaFleur is thinking. He sees that play unravel, and he's like, that was an easy touchdown. He's like, I can't even give it another shot, because you're not guaranteed the 2-point conversion. You're just not. So I don't have a problem with the field goal. I know a lot of people do, but it was the 2-point conversion that really handicapped them. That's my take on it.
Yeah, this game was an incredible game, and I think the first touchdown that the Bucs scored on set the tone for that game right then and there. Because once they fell behind, you just felt like the pressure was on them. Like it almost felt like they were trying to just catch up and stay in the game. And then all of a sudden, it's 14-10. They're driving. And all of a sudden, it was a pass interference there. You can't say it wasn't. But he throws an interception. And then you're thinking, okay, we're going into the half. It's going to be 14-10. And, they're sort of still close. They're still alive. And it reminded me of the Derek Carr to Henry Ruggs touchdown. It was exactly the same play, man coverage, and he just burned King back there.
Kevin King,
who had
speaking of Kings.
Speaking of Kings, but he had a brutal game, man. I mean, that kid was being lit up all over the place. But that touchdown to Scotty Miller really sort of just like encapsulated like the whole game. It was just like it was one of those games where it was just like you couldn't believe what you were watching, like it was happening. And then they get the lead at 28-10. Then all of a sudden they make the comeback to get a touchdown. And then I agree with you. The 2-point conversion was a mistake. They shouldn't have chased the points. They should have kicked the extra point. But then you forced Brady to throw 3 picks. I mean, he had a horrible second half. He played terribly. Those 3 picks, and you don't convert on any of them. And then
did he have like 2 picks in a 5, a pass attempt span?
Yeah, I mean, it was horrible. I mean, he was just playing terribly. And then you get to the final, to that drive right there. Excuse me, with 4 minutes left. And Rodgers tries to go. And earlier in the game, Devontae Adams at 14-7 drops a touchdown when so they could have tied it there, kind of taking the pressure off. But we get to that drive, and he tries to go to Devontae Adams, try to force the ball to him. And you're right. He had a clear shot at the end zone. Why he didn't run it there, I don't know. I don't know if he thought he couldn't make it or maybe he didn't see it, but he would have scored. Like, if he ran it there, he would have scored.
But the throw that he decided to go with was horrible.
Yeah, it was a horrible throw. I mean, it was just
a horrible throw. He was in double coverage. Like, you weren't going to complete that. You should have at least tried for the running it in. But that's
And then we get to the 4th down, and look, over the last few days, people are saying, well, when you look at it, he's got 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. They've been stopping Brady all afternoon. My defense is playing well, but in that moment, that Matt LaFleur choked, because even though Rodgers, 3 downs, he hasn't gotten in, you have to give him the ball in his hands. No matter if you go either way, he had to go for the 2-point conversion, right? Either way, he had to score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. At that point, you have to ride or die with him. Like, you got to go with him, right? And you got to find a way to score. And he took the ball out of his hands. I think it kind of deflated his team a little bit. And then once they got that first down at the end right there, when on that pass interference, it was over right there. But I think LaFleur made a mistake. Because he just pretty much said, I don't believe in my quarterback. I don't believe my offense can score, right? So you're giving the ball to Brady back. Chances are he's going to get a first down. I mean, he's played a terrible half, but these are the moments that Brady shines. You gave him an opportunity to get a first down. They got a pass interference. Was it King, too, that got that pass interference? It might have been him, right? Was it him? I'm not sure if it was or not.
I don't think it was.
But either way, I mean, at the end, that was a game. Green Bay.
I think it was a linebacker. I thought it was.
I don't know who it was, but Green Bay gave away the game. That game was there for them to win. They should have scored on all 3 turnovers. They didn't. Aaron Rodgers wasn't able to come through at the end. And Tom Brady, again, proved his greatness. That's where the guy's great. Comes up in the big moments, clutch player. And at the end of the day, they won. The game was won in the first half. It just sort of fell apart for the Packers in the second half. But look, it's what it is. He goes to his 10th Super Bowl. My God. And like we said last week, if he pulls this one off, I mean, the guy's there with Muhammad Ali and all the greats. So it was just a tremendous game. And the way it ended was, just fascinating.
Yeah, he's there anyway. But yeah, I mean, that definitely cements it a little bit more. We took a little bit of time on that one.
We'll talk about it when we on the backside.
We can talk about the Chiefs and the Bills after, and obviously break down and look ahead into the Super Bowl just a tad bit. But now we're going to bring on our next guest. Joining us tonight, he is a media mogul.
Yes. Your Majesty.
Creator. Yeah, and yet another king. So King Sharif is joining us.
What's going on?
King, how we doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
We are doing great. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on. We've been looking forward to to getting you on and pretty much chatting about what you got going on. Yeah. So obviously we had a very big weekend in football. And today we touched on at the beginning. Obviously it was the late great Kobe Bryant 1 year. I know you're a big basketball fan. I know you are a big LeBron fan as well. But let's just go back to the beginning. Like, where did your love for basketball, football, and sports start?
First of all, I want to say thank you guys for having me. Before I even get to that, and you guys are doing it big. 50 episodes, your 51st episode. Come on. Somebody got to give it up for you.
Appreciate that.
Thank
you. Thank you very much.
I want to say basketball for me started at an early age. I was young, playing basketball, playing AAU, playing in tournaments, things of that nature. Just loving the game of basketball. I remember going to 5-star basketball camps, just going away, playing in a Boys and Girls Club, just playing in small tournaments, park recreation tournaments, and just having fun there. That's where it all started.
Awesome. And you grew up in Harlem, New York, correct?
Yeah, by way of the Bronx, man. I used to go back and forth, and I stayed with my grandmother a lot of times. That's why I say by way of the Bronx, because I was often catching myself in the Bronx with my grandmother, to my grandmother and my mom and my uncle. I was just out there having a good time, balling in DeVoe Park, and a lot of my friends came from there. My childhood friends came from the Bronx, and a lot of stuff in Harlem, but in the Bronx too.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on, King. So when did when you played AAU ball, did you play with any any professional NBA players that made it to the league? I mean, did you play with some high profile names in AAU basketball?
I got a chance to play amongst them, recreation ball. Junior college, and I got a chance to connect with a lot of different people, but I can't say I played with anybody elite during my time. But at that time I was playing with a lot of ranked players. I can say that, moving across the country, being able to play for a lot of different AAU teams and having a chance to, take me back to trying out. I remember trying out and having a good time, Riverside Church and Gauchos.
Yeah.
So just doing that. I was on the B team for Gauchos and, moving right along with that, just having a good time. So I remember a lot of players, but don't remember exactly, what happened in between like high school and college. Because that transition is different. You can be popping in elementary school and the high school is different. Then you get to high school and then you stink up the place, and then college, you can shine again. So you never know.
Yeah. So King, when did you, as you're a pretty young guy, when did you realize, or you started like journalism was something you want to get into, that it started catching your attention, you want to sort of go to that route?
I noticed early on. I think I knew 3rd and 4th grade what I wanted to do. Watching all that and just seeing how that resonated with me. I was just like, you know what, I gotta get into this. I remember going to some of my family members and being like, I want to be on this show. I want to do this. And they're like, what? They thought it was insane. But now, to date, they're like, wow, you've come a long way. But 3rd or 4th grade, I remember, being in, a Catholic elementary school and, going to school and kicking it. Always loved music, entertainment, sports. Just had the gift of gab. I remember listening to Angie Martinez, and I used to steal my uncle's tapes. I used to take his tapes and I used to record over them. Now at that time they had mixtapes or whatever have you. So, those were like popular mixtapes. And I was taking those to record the radio. And just listen back to those. I remember having a karaoke machine and just, listening back and envisioning myself on Hot 97 and, all of these childhood stations just used to be like, you know what, this is gonna be me. At that time, I can't say I sounded good, but do.
That's awesome. Did you say all that? Got you?
All that.
Awesome.
All that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's like, what moment there, like, were you like, oh, I definitely didn't want to be on that show?
Well, you got to envision yourself on the show from the beginning of the show when it started. I was willing to be an artist at that point, Mm-hmm. I was willing to coincide with Kenan and Kel, get my little skit in here and there. I used to love like mimicking Kenan and Kel, and who loves orange soda? So I used to be that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, which Good Burger was a little bit better than it actually was, but the all that version of Good Burger was great.
Good Burger did a lot, but I feel like all that really, really kicked things off, and it allowed them to kind of jump into their creativity. If you look at like what Kenan is doing now, it's
yeah, for sure.
And it kind of catapulted them. Of course, we know Live in Color and all of that kind of stuff before. But, this was the kids' version to actually see them sprout. So, salute to them.
Yeah, no, it was great. Obviously, I grew up with it as well, watching that and Kenan and Kel and all that. It's it was great. It was great on Saturday nights. We also have a comment here. Matty Wolf, he played 5-star and also Pocono Invitational and 76ers basketball camps. Thanks for joining us, Matt. So, so you went to school. You went to a couple of different schools. You went to 5 towns over here. You went to Old Westbury, and then you ventured over to Syracuse. Well, actually, when did you start with like working with like Hot 97 and stuff like that? Was that before Syracuse or you during? Okay, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I started at Syracuse after I kind of had a break. I got laid off. I was doing like radio, television. I worked with Hot 97 and WBLS. I was working with Dopeness Magazine and the Rap Fest. Just moving around a lot, hosting a lot of shows. I was hosting beat battles, doing a lot of big interviews, things of that nature. And then I moved over after 3.5 years. I was just like, you know what? I gotta leave. I gotta really take flight, and I want people to take me serious. And a lot of mentors was just like, New York City is big, and so although you have all this talent and creativity, you may have to leave home. At that time, I got an opportunity. I left, went to Cincinnati. I had 2 strong years there. That's where I really excelled. I really flourished. I did like Fox 19 there. I did 101.1 The Wiz. And I was really, really incredible at night, 7 to 12, 5 hours, 7 days a week, just going strong.
Wow.
Yeah,
awesome.
No days off. And then, I got a couple of different ventures. During that particular time, I was able to travel, move around, host a lot of other shows, was able to throw my own things, my own events, kind of create my own. And I came into my own at that particular time. Unfortunately, it came to a halt where 2018, I had to move. I was just like, you know what? Like, I just got laid off. But it taught me a lot about myself. They say you're not hot until you get laid off. And I didn't know what that meant. I was just like, what? I don't have a job. It's just like, no, like, it's not about who you are now. It's like who you become when stuff like this happens to you, because this is the industry that you're in. You can have good years and then laid off for 2. Have 10, 15 good years, laid off for 3, or laid off for 1, laid off for 6 months. So actually, just a little bit of transparency, I went into kind of I was shocked and also stressed out. I was depressed, because I just didn't know what to do. I was like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me I came all the way here, I got laid off? I mean, and at that time, I didn't know. I was just like, I'm ready to just take things to the next level right here in Cincinnati. Got laid off. Forced me to go back home. Went back home to New York City. Started to do a couple of different events back home. I was teaching media and communications part-time an after-school program. And then I was just like, talking to my best friend, like, hey, what should I do? Like, where should I go? She's like, wait a minute, you were supposed to go to grad school a long time ago. Like, what are you doing? So I applied for grad school, got in. I was going online. I was set to go online. Then what happened was I decided, you know what? Let me move to Syracuse. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do the in-person program. I started to talk to the dean, and he's just like, you know what? I'll be honest with you. We wanted you to come to Syracuse to do the in-person program, but we weren't sure that you would come. So he's like, yeah, if you would come and, the program, he's like, it's all yours. He's like, all right, committed to it. So 2019, summer of 2019, I moved to Syracuse, started the program. That was when I also got the opportunity to be an in-game arena host for Syracuse football, Syracuse basketball, while I was creating some other ventures on my own. So, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster. Then after graduating in August of 2020, I experienced not being able to get a job, because I'm back on the market. Now I'm trying to see what's going on, pushing out new websites, marketing promotions, things of that nature, attaching a new PR person, trying to get press with you guys. And so, it was just like, whoa, what happens? That whole 6 to 8 month period was like, whoa, like this is rocky. And now I'm here now, just getting opportunities left and right, being featured in a lot of different places. I'm doing iHeart part-time, with George Kilpatrick. And so I got my hands in a few things. I'm just excited to be here, man. It's a big roller coaster. I owe it all to God, really.
No, that's that's amazing. I just want to touch on something real quick. I know you said before that you were down in the dumps, a little depressed, with everything spiraled down. Matty Wolf, he's a great friend of the show. He was on our show. He's always preaching that it's okay to not be okay. He's dealt with stuff like that. So if anyone is having problems out there, we obviously we care about everyone out there that's watching. So if you have trouble with depression, reach out to somebody, talk about it, because it is something that's serious. Don't just let it fester and not do anything about it. Yeah. But so I King, I admire the drive and the hustle, and that's really what it's all about. Yeah, it obviously is tough, to get laid off, and it's tough to to not find out where your next project is going to come from or where your next job opportunity, but you're doing everything that you can to put yourself in that position, and I've been saying, this year, like 2021 is blackjack, and right now, we are, we're trying to build this, this podcast up, we're trying to, build some viewers, we're building relationships with the people that are coming on here. And I'm also working on my other venture, which, is Playing the Field, it's a sports fan community, sports fan dating app. But, the way I'm approaching this year is if you want to hit 21 in blackjack, you can't do it unless you stay at the table. So you just keep doing it. And especially in honor of Kobe Bryant, Mamba mentality, get 1% better every day. You just keep pushing forward. That's what everyone has to do. And you're doing the things that you need to do. So it's going to all come full circle. It's going to get there. Like you said, you're putting yourself out there. You're coming on the show. And by the way, you're always welcome on the show. So,
100%.
So you just have to keep doing it. I've looked at, your website, your Instagrams. If you want, share with our viewers and our listeners where they can find you.
Sure. I'm King Sharif. You can find me there. I got a whole new website coming. I also have a media mentorship. I'm trying to get back even while moving up the ladder, because I believe that's the best way to do it. So I'm revamping a whole new website. And just a bunch of different projects to launch. So a podcast and things of that nature. So just look out. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at I am King Sharif. You'll find me there. I'll be dropping links all month long. I swear.
Oh, we're looking forward to it. And we're definitely, tag us in, in stories or whatever. we will, share it with our viewers anytime. We want to support you. We want to support everybody out there. Everyone, we respect the hustle. So,
yes.
And you've been a supporter of our show too. And, we appreciate all the stuff that you've done for the show while you've been waiting patiently to come on. Like, we've had a lot of people that, we had booked months in advance and you've waited patiently and, we finally got to the day, but we're here and we're glad to have you on. Rick, you can take the next one.
Yeah, no, Sharif, I admire that. Look, I mean, what are we in 2021? I remember about 8 years ago, I fell on my ass pretty hard, like to the point where I had to lose my, move back to my parents, and you're just wondering how the hell did it all happen, and so seeking help is nothing wrong with that. I think everybody in life hits a moment where that happens, and like once you get to the other side, it's just like nothing will stop you. So I'm there with you, brother. Trust me. Trust me. Yeah, but so I'm curious to know when you were doing overnights in Cincinnati, right? When you were working over,
I was doing nights. I was doing 7 p.m. to midnight.
So what's that like to do a show like that? Like for our viewers, what goes into it? Like all the preparation. Like tell us what's the experience like to do something like that?
I mean, I was truly a one-man band. Truly. Some people have a board op, a producer, have someone to run your boards or someone to record your interviews on Vox Pro. I mean, it was just me, but it taught me a lot about myself and what I could possibly do. I remember having A Boogie come to see me, and it was literally A Boogie and his whole team, and I had one camera person. I'm literally on air doing the interview with him, still had to cut the interview to play it back, then finish the interview. Like it was something out of a movie. But it just taught me like, wow, this is what this is. You got to be careful when you ask for things, because when you do, you get it, and it forces you to level up. It's either you're going to level up or you're going to sit there and complain. Come to the table, like you said, blackjack. You want to hit 21.
Yeah.
You also be ready for the moment. That means change. Like you got to be willing to change to go along with what's happening. So it forced me, man. I met a lot of people at one of the best shows in Indiana, Kentucky, and Cincinnati. I catered to 3 markets. It was definitely a wide range, array of music, from R&B to hip hop, and I've interviewed so many talented people. It was just fun. 7 p.m. to midnight. Now, I was there. I didn't really have anybody to, relieve me of my duties at any time. So most of the time I was on air 7 days.
Yeah.
It was grind, in, out, in, out, in, out. But it was my first full time, so it was just like, yo, your first full time on the radio, you got to do what you got to do. You got to deliver. Then I was doing Fox 19. I was a contributor on Fox 19, speaking about entertainment and music. So that was every Friday morning. So I really got a chance to really catapult and, leave my mark, interviewing like everybody from Mike Epps to Jeezy to A.B. I mean, the list just goes on. I just got a chance to talk with so many talented people and so many of my idols. It was incredible and crazy at the same time.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Oh,
yeah. We had Svetlin, our friend Svedlin, right, Mike? Stevlin. I apologize, Stevlin, and he's Pete Klein's friend. And they were talking about doing push-ups and like jumping jacks in like 12 hours. Were you doing stuff like that, like just to keep yourself going throughout those like?
I would, in between breaks, I would get down on the floor, hit push-ups while the commercials are happening. I remember just taking risks, man. I knew that I needed the exposure, and I knew that I couldn't get the exposure that I wanted because I was a one-man band. It was a big station in Cincinnati, but also a small station where you didn't have a lot of people in the promotions and marketing department to help you. So you kind of had to really create on your own. I didn't have jock cards like these big radio TV stations where they pass out jock cards with your name and your time you come on.
Yeah.
Everything I got was earned. I remember taking risks like leaving the station, going to host an event, running back 7 blocks to get back to the station, to get back on air because I needed the exposure. I needed FaceTime. So I took a lot of I'm just sitting here thinking about it too. I just a lot of leaps of faith. Definitely couldn't be done without God. I promise you, the things I've done there was just like, whoa, what are you doing? Just taking risk after risk after risk, and had to do it. I would have food delivered, all types of food delivered. I had a lot of sponsors. A lot of sponsors would look me out, and it was humbling because I would get people to stop me in the street. People would say hello, take pictures with me.
Wow.
But for me, I'm not used to it. You're talking about a guy who did weekends in New York City. I was a part-time talent. I didn't hit the full-time pressure. So it's like when you're getting that and it's exposure and your name is on this and your name is on that, they hear you on the radio. It's like, whoa, blew my mind. Blew my mind. So that experience will never leave me. And Cincinnati got a place in my heart. So.
That's amazing, and obviously Cincinnati's it's a lot smaller of a market than New York, so you're gonna get recognized a lot more for sure. But it's good that you've been doing this for years. You have that track record. That people can go back to. When you're looking for different positions in the industry, they're gonna see. Oh, he was working in Cincinnati. For this station, way back when, I kind of want to touch on, some of that Syracuse experience, because you had some funny stories working in the arena there. So talk to us a little bit about the fun experiences that you've had doing that.
Yeah, I had a bunch of different experiences. I remember one game I was sitting at the top, literally sitting at the top, and I'm going on a jumbotron. I'm broadcasting. I'm going through the script, running through everything I need to run through, and I'm talking to a fan. I'm talking to him like, "Hey, what's your name?" We're going back and forth, and then he finally just snatches the mic. Go Orange! He had this like kilt on, like it was just the craziest thing I've ever seen. Plus, you could probably see the nervousness on my face because I was literally up top. Like I had never, because the way the Carrier Dome was built, I had never been there. So I was literally at the top. We're at an angle. I'm trying to make sure I don't fall off this thing. And sitting here, like, so what's your name? And he just grabs it. It's like, this is my time. And it was incredible, man. It was really something to really look back on and be like, wow, I still speak to this guy to this day. He's an incredible fan. He is a go hard for Syracuse Orange. He just eats and sleeps Orange. He just eats and sleeps it. And so that was one incredible moment. Another incredible moment was I remember like getting the fans hype and they're about to run out, and the videographers got the camera out, and I'm just throwing shirts out. I'm just throwing shirts out. And I remember throwing a shirt to a lady, and at first she caught the end of the shirt and we're tug of warring. Like she's like, the shirt, like. No, like this is I'm really trying to throw this shirt. Like so I was just like, teasing him, and she pulled the shirt, and I was just like, do I pull this away from this lady or do I let her have it? And then she kind of gave me this like puppy face, and I'm like, all right. She's like, at that point I just let her have it, and I gave another shirt to the kid. But at that moment I realized how important it is for a collegiate team in small towns. Literally the town is built around a collegiate team, and that is their NBA, their NFL team. Yeah. They don't have, the Brooklyn Nets or the Knicks or the Jets or the Giants. I mean, they have the Bills, but that's far-fetched, So it's like you get to see how much this means to be at a game like that, and that kind of warmed my heart.
Yeah, no, the atmosphere around college sports is something completely different.
It's way different, man. I mean, I remember dancing with the mascot. Me and the mascot are having, dance contests, just having a great time literally in the middle of the dome. Something I loved and like wish it never ended because it's just like, man, like that feeling of just people roaring and hearing people just loud and authentic and courageous and just being massive for what they love and just see all this orange and blue, just the craziest experience ever. Experience.
That's the fan experience. Everybody.
Yeah, right there, exactly. Yeah,
being able to sit in the stands with students, with faculty, with staff. Remember, that's a job that some people do. They don't even go to the school. They try out for it. They audition for it. I had to audition, but while I was working that job, I was still a grad student. Yeah. So, I had to juggle both, so that was an incredible time. And so I would often run across friends, being at just a bunch of different eateries and food spots. And they're just like, hey, you're the guy that's on the Jumbotron. Hey, so the experience was crazy. And I remember one time I had this crazy like pullover sweater for Syracuse Orange, and like a kid just ran into me like your hoodie is just so dope, sick. So I took the hoodie off and just gave it to him. I was just like, all right,
nice. Hey, that's nice, man. So Sharif, let me ask you this: you've done obviously sideline reporting, you've done your own show. You're looking to go into like sort of the sports entertainment type of thing. Like where do you want to go really? Like, do you want to do sideline reporting or do you want to go sort of on the business side of sports? Like, where do you see yourself going in the next, and I ask this to everybody because I'm just curious, as your career is progressing, what avenue do you want to take?
I want to do sports and entertainment, anchoring, hosting, analyzing, and reporting. Basically, I would love to be syndicated on radio. I want to get the radio stuff back full time, like city to city. I want to get the podcast stuff going, but I also want to do entertainment TV. Like if it's E-News or People TV, I really would want to make it to Good Morning America. I mean,
wow.
Now
nice.
I know the work is cut out, but that is the goal. I would love to do late night television too. Stephen A. Smith is a guy I look up to. Ryan Seacrest and Michael Strahan, Steve Harvey. I mean, the list goes on. But I feel like I'm bringing a little bit of a different approach because I'm a lot of times people aren't educated in the field, and so like it's like they have the experience, but they don't go to school for it. I had the experience, but then I wanted to have the ability to kind of pass on the torch. If I was to ever get it and take it to that next level, I want to be able to pass it down. So that's the reason for my mentorship. But overall, I really just want to be like what it looks like to be kind of like an Oprah or Dick Clark or Ryan Seacrest. I mean, I'm really trying to capture the nightlife television mixed with daytime television. And I know it's hard work. I know it takes a lot to get there, but I'm here for it.
That's an incredible goal, man.
No, that's amazing. And you definitely got the drive to get there,
Yeah, and the personality. And are you gonna, in this endeavor, do you want to mix sports into the late night? Because obviously late night entertainment is late night entertainment, and it's like, celebrities, but the sports is more left to like ESPN or Fox Sports, right? During the day, Saturdays, what have you. But are you gonna try to sort of change the industry in the sense of like sort of incorporate sports into your endeavor as you're moving forward?
Oh, absolutely. I actually want to launch my own sports platform, sports lifestyle platform for You're a Good Sport. Wow. So just highlighting people, what they do with their wives, what they do with their family, what they do in their off time, in the off season, how do they, what does it look like pre and post for a game, just all of those different things. So I'm kind of trying to launch that as well as a platform. And, I'm hoping to get LeBron. I'm hoping to launch LeBron on my platform. But literally, I would love to like do kind of how Michael Strahan does it. You know, he's on NFL.com. You know, he works with the NFL, and then he's over here at Good Morning America. So I really want to get a taste of both. And then if I was to get my own, then I would incorporate sports as well. But it's kind of hard, man. You know, I want to say right now, it's not the same, right? A lot of people get the opportunity to work in sports and navigate, you know, and get through to an entertainment show that will allow them to kind of like spill a little bit of sports here and there. But now it's about broadcast entrepreneurship. Look at you guys. You guys are killing it, you know, episode after episode. That's what it's about now. You know, not a lot of people are getting the same opportunities that all these big personalities have gotten because they had to prove themselves first. You know, Oprah spent time proving herself, you know, station after station before she got her own. You know? And that was the blueprint that I was trying to incorporate for myself. It's like, hey, I want to be here. I want to get the exposure. I want to have a chance to work for other people and learn from other people before I actually go off and you know, do things on my own. I do want to executive produce along with me just hosting and anchoring and stuff like that. But it takes versatility. It does take you to be able to write a script, to be able to create a script, just to know what goes on, you know, in post, you know, with editing and shooting. But, you know, it takes a lot. You know, I'm in the midst right now of applying for a job. I just had an interview today. So we'll see how that goes. You know, I'm interviewing right now for a lot of different jobs, you know, as entertainment and sports reporter, like doing feature reporting, you know, covering sports, covering entertainment, sideline, whatever have you. But I want people to know that I'm versatile, bringing style, demeanor, and culture to entertainment, lifestyle, sports, and news.
Yeah, no, I love, you know, that you have such a like clear vision of like what you're looking to get to, you know, and you know, there's a lot of people that don't know where they want to go. You know, there's a lot of people that just don't have a path and they don't have a purpose that they're trying to work towards. So, you know, to have that, you know, that's a lot of the battle right there. And you know, like I said, you've been putting in the work. You've been putting yourself out there. And I actually so I was putting in, our show is on IMDb. Okay. Right? So I got the idea from a friend of mine. You know, he put his podcast on IMDb. You know, Joe Rogan has it. So I was putting in today's show, and you already have an IMDb entry in there. So kudos to you. You went and set up your own IMDb. Well, you got something in your filmography now. So congratulations. So you just got to keep building that one up. I can't wait to build it out, man. You guys are the first people to actually be in on my
Look at this. There you go. There it is.
King Sharif 2021.
There you go.
Here we go.
All right.
I'm looking forward to that, man. Thank you guys so much for
No, absolutely. I was like, oh, cool. Look, this guy's got an IMDb record.
Yeah.
Look at that. You know, it's you know, usually when I'm putting it in, like nobody exists, you know, on our guests, with the exception of a few. You know, one of our ex-guests was he was a stuntman for a whole bunch of movies.
Pete Klein.
And Pete Klein, and he's also starting this like his own action sports series, which starting off with action tennis. It's pretty much like American Ninja Warrior, American Gladiators meets tennis.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
he's doing it with Stevland Wilson.
Yeah,
we had on a couple weeks ago, who's an Emmy award winning producer with ESPN, and it's gonna be great, man. I tell Mike all the time, dude, when we walk out of there, it's like we're not walking out of there. Like it's just gonna be ugly for the both of us, at least for me. But you know,
look at you guys. You guys are connected. You guys are connected. You know what? I have done other commercials and stuff. It's just that you know, I didn't get the credit. You know, I did a.
Well, you can put your own credit in.
Yeah, I gotta learn it, right? I did a commercial for Ryan Leslie. He's an artist. I did a commercial for him for his I think it was his first project independently. And I was in that, and I didn't even know about IMDb. So now that you guys are putting me on, I'm gonna go back and be like, hey,
Yeah, it's really pretty easy. You go in there, you really could put, a lot of different things in there, but obviously, we have our own page. We're the producers and the writers and the directors of it all, and so it's our own show. And we don't even like to call it a podcast.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that this has become a television show.
All right, we're putting it on record. Episode 51. It's the fan experience TV. Yeah. Okay, because we're not a podcast. This is a TV show. This is that late night talk show. That people go and look forward to. And it's been, like I said, it's been so much fun. Just to connect and build relationships with people such as yourself and all the other amazing guests that we've had on. That's what it's all about for us. Just hearing those, the stories, your origin story, the things that you've been through, that the hustle, the grind, and that's really what it's all about for us. It's just pretty much respecting hustle, and and we're just having, and we're talking sports, so it's like, it's really, it's a happy marriage of everything, and I always say, when we're talking, it's kind of like, we're just sitting at a bar and just catching up, like when we have people on, and we want everyone to feel comfortable when they're on. And not make it where it's like inquisitive and just like tough questions and stuff like that. We're really just shooting the shit. So that's what it's all about. And but yeah, you definitely are on the right path. And anything that we can do to help, we certainly want to help you out as much as possible as well.
Are you kidding me? You guys are going to be at the top with me. We're going to be doing this together.
Yeah,
it's all about. You guys have been consistent. Listen, I'll tell you like this: to reach number 51, people spend years trying to get to 10. You gotta know that. People, cut off their seasons at 5. And they have 5 seasons and they're only at 25. And so, pat yourself on the back. Show love to yourself, because that's what it's about. Consistency is everything, man. And I'm looking like you guys got a whole production. When I got the artwork, I was like, whoa, blown away. I sent it out and people were just like, yo, who did this? I'm like, yeah, they're incredible. You just got to see me in action, and I'm going to be on the, I'm bragging. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be on the show. You got to catch me, because just everything that you guys do and the way you capture things is just incredible. The sports, whatever have you. And I love it. I love sports. So I'm glad to be here to share my fan experience. And you know what? We gotta talk Super Bowl. We gotta talk Super Bowl, because
well, let's get into it real quick. We got the Buccaneers and the great Tom Brady against and the immortal, as I call him, Patrick Mahomes. So you
in Tampa Bay,
in Tampa at home. How do you see it playing out?
Well, I'll tell you like this. I know everybody is raving and rallying around the great Tom Brady, but I'm going for Mahomes. There's a reason why Mahomes is here for a second year, and he's doing it. I don't want to put too much on Mahomes, but we are looking at greatness early on. Now, I get it. I understand what Tom Brady has done and what this would do for his coach, his everybody that's rooting for him, and just his fans in general, and what this says for his career. But I gotta tell you, it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a battle. I love the way he's gonna be able to play at home. This is their first time being able to play in their stadium, and everybody wrote Tom Brady off. As much as they love him, they were just like, "Oh, he's old. He's washed up. The washed up QB. Get him out of here." But I don't know. I do think he's gonna bring the smoke, but I'm going with Mahomes on this one.
All right.
Yeah, he's gonna bring the fire. Mahomes is gonna bring the fire.
He's gonna bring the cannon fire. That's
no cannons if they score. Well, I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it. because it's a Super Bowl, so it's technically it's supposed to be neutral ground.
Neutral
right?
site, yeah.
But this is this is like the first time this is ever going to happen. So I guess we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think I honestly was shocked with the Chiefs game this past weekend. Like I thought the Chiefs were missing a step all year, and I thought they just weren't firing on all cylinders. But boy, Sunday they were firing on all cylinders, and if they could bring that into the Super Bowl, I don't even think it's going to be close. If they can play like they did this past Sunday.
But they gotta bring the smoke, man. I will say this: I did think the Bills were on their way.
I did too. I definitely had them with a serious chance in winning this game. But Mahomes and the Chiefs, they really came to play.
Yeah. You know what? I'll see what happens, man. I don't want to talk too much trash because people will be like, "Oh, King Sharif said." But
hey, man, this is viral. If you call, people see this.
It's all good. It's all good. You know what? I'll stick my neck out there. I'm with Mahomes on this one. Mahomes has got to take it and bring it home. I'm just looking forward to it. A lot of the conversation that I have is between LeBron and Tom Brady. Hence why I tagged you guys today on Instagram, because I felt like, hey, this whole conversation goes a little bit far, right? Mm-hmm. It's like Tom Brady, LeBron James. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Mike.
You did tag me, and I went with Brady.
Okay.
On that one, as far as like who's the GOAT, between the two of them, I went with Brady.
So here's the thing, right? Both of them have been to 10 championships, right? LeBron's won 4, he's lost 6. And both their durability is incredible. But I think that LeBron James is just, him and Brady both have the same thing. They go to a franchise, they change the franchise. But the guy is just like, I just think that LeBron is on this level of athlete, this level of, I always equate this to Jordan, right? Like the debate, Jordan, LeBron. And the more you see LeBron James, his act is what he's accomplishing. I look at Jordan. I don't know that an athlete is ever going to replicate either what Brady did or LeBron did, but especially what LeBron's doing in the NBA. I just don't ever see somebody doing what he's doing and at the ease that he's doing it, right? Remember, it's just incredible how he can turn it on. Last night he scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, something like that, after he missed a 3. Just watching LeBron plays is like the guy's just unstoppable, dude. Like, you don't see him having second halves like Brady had against the Packers, like throwing 3 picks or having he never has games like that. Like he's never hurt. Mm-hmm. He's always playing. And I put LeBron like now I've said if Brady pulls this off, like if he wins the Super Bowl, he's there with Muhammad Ali, on another level. But I think LeBron James is getting to a point at that level where just like you will never see it again. Like you will never see the dominance, the athlete that he is ever. So I put LeBron and then Brady.
Yeah, me too. I put LeBron too. I just feel like some of the things he's been able to do, on the court and off the court. A lot of people argue with me like, comparing Jordan and LeBron. Now I get it. Jordan is great. 2 different eras, 2 different positions.
Yeah.
But LeBron has done more for his era than Michael Jordan has. That's just how I feel. On the court, off the court, Michael Jordan has been great. Michael Jordan has done a lot. But I don't think it's to the caliber that LeBron James has done it. And to still come back when everybody is counting you out. Come on, 18 years. People are counting you out. 17 years, 18 years. He's going to – if he can do 23, 24 years, if he can do the Michael Jordan number.
Yeah.
If he can do the – and I don't care. You can say what you want about him. If he leaves and goes and retires back with the Cavs, say what you want. But I think the guy's got another 5 years in him. I do.
Well, I think he's a machine. Like LeBron works out all the time. He eats right, but a different era, right? Like Jordan, they really didn't focus on eating. I mean, not mind you, I watched Jordan in the 90s. I mean, it was an event when he played, right? But what Jordan did for the game, the game was like teetering. Like once Magic and Bird came along, but what Jordan did to elevate the game and put the game where it is for LeBron to come in and then just take it to another stratosphere. I mean, look, today we're still buying Jordans, right? We're still wearing number 23. So his legacy on the game is just tremendous. But in terms of between the Brady and LeBron comparison, and you have to remember when Brady won his first couple of titles, it wasn't Brady, right? It was the Patriot defense, and those were. It wasn't until like Brady lost a couple and then started winning when he beat the Falcons, when he beat the Seahawks. That Brady has gotten into this like elevated status. It's only been recently. It wasn't like at the beginning of his career. Yeah. LeBron at the beginning of his career was taking the Cavs with nobody to the finals. I mean, who did that? So that's why I put LeBron, a step ahead of Brady.
So would you say LeBron is LeBron in his golden years? Like, what do you think about LeBron right now?
Honestly, the way the league is, with defense, with load management, I do think LeBron has 3 or 4 good years left. And I mean, honestly, if Clay comes back, if the Golden State Warriors can find a way to get some more pieces, you can never count them out. But right now, you have to say LeBron's a favorite to win another couple of titles. But I mean, there's also the thing about LeBron, right? He's lost. I mean, listen, the Warriors had a dynasty within his era, man, and they should have won 4 against them, but they didn't. So you have to throw that in the mix. But in terms of athlete, I mean, LeBron James, Tom Brady, I go LeBron James.
Yeah, I'm going LeBron James. I'm going LeBron.
As far as like athlete wise, I would definitely go LeBron over Brady. But I only go the Brady route because at the end of the day, it's who ends up on top. Yeah, they both went to the same amount, and who's got more rings, and
and here's the other thing:
who can do it when it really counts, and that's the thing.
Here's the other thing: Tom Brady was 18-0 going into a Super Bowl, and he lost it. That's why you put LeBron. Because LeBron beat a 73-19.
Yeah,
right? There it is, and there it is.
I mean, it goes up and down, but I do think that he does have a chip on his shoulder, and he's definitely trying to prove some things because people are like, oh, he's not great until he surpasses Jordan or Tom Brady because he only has 4. So people are just like, yo, you're good, but you're not great. And then
they don't give him his due. He's great. He's one. He's
like, oh yeah, he's definitely great.
He's one or two. Like it just depends on what area you think about. He's 1 or 2.
I mean, I think he's breaking down doors.
Yeah,
each thing. He's always breaking a new record. Always breaking a new record. So
listen, I would love to get him on this show. We can talk about his 16 seasons and all that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot we could talk about there. But so what if Brady wins in 2 weeks? Does it put him a little higher for a little bit? But then LeBron could win this year, and it could really just blow the whole thing up.
Kudos to Tom Brady, regardless of what. I'm still gonna say Tom Brady was dope for his career and what he's done. I just want to see LeBron get his. I don't think it's a fair comparison because it's 2 different sports, but people oftentimes put them neck and neck. And so I often have the conversation, but I would love to see a great do what they do. He's a Hall of Famer. He's, we know that. We're looking at a Hall of Famer right now playing. And so kudos to him. Hats off to him. I want to see him do his thing. I'm not rooting for him this time around because I want Mahomes to get, give what he got. But if Tom Brady comes through and he can do it and he can take the Super Bowl to the next level, I mean, you got to think he's at a new franchise and his first year there, he's going to bring a championship there.
Yeah.
Well,
listen, if he goes to a team, let's say if he goes to a team that's not as loaded, because they're loaded. Matthew Ryan says LeBron is greater than Brady. Okay, Matt, I'm with you. But he went to a team that's loaded. I mean, you had Mike Evans. You had this kid Scotty Miller. You have what's Godwin, right, Mike?
Godwin.
Yeah. You Fournette. You know, you have Ronald Jones. So the team was ready for a quarterback like him, who's a little more disciplined, doesn't throw 30 picks. And
yes, but he still brought a 7-9 team
to the Super Bowl.
I mean,
and he was the difference.
So that
I'm not taking it,
but the parts were in place for him to come in and just take charge there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I still give him his props because
of course, 100%. You can't hate on him.
Even if somebody sets up a team around you, you still have to perform. A lot of people will use that. Hey, you know, he should win. He had all of the pieces, but it's like, how many times have we seen people have all the pieces to the puzzle and still drop the ball? Literally.
Aaron Rodgers. Sorry, Aaron Rodgers.
No. They didn't build the team. Rodgers wanted another wide receiver,
right? Yeah,
and they drafted a quarterback. So you can't say that Rodgers had the team to win it all because he definitely didn't.
That team
but you know what? But let's also take a second to talk about what the Patriots have become after losing Tom Brady.
What that's like? It's like
that went from here crashing right back down, and did Tom Brady play that much of an impact
100%.
in that team? Did he impact that team by that much when everyone said, no, it's Belichick, but they had Cam Newton, somebody who's won MVP, might I add, before, and they couldn't do anything.
But that Brady leaving was like LeBron leaving a team. LeBron leaves Miami, they don't win. He leaves Cleveland, they don't win. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, when he leaves the Lakers, they won't win either. It's the same thing.
Well, what happens if Brady decides if he wins this, hey, I'm out. I'm going.
Tampa Bay will win the Super Bowl for another 20 years. That's
okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
but Brady's going to play. He signed. What he signed? A 2-year deal. He's going to play.
It's one. It's one.
It was a 1-year deal. I thought it was a 2-year deal.
I think it was just one.
No, I think it was just one. All right. Well, I thought it was a 2-year deal, but I could be wrong.
But maybe I got to look into that. I thought he was just there for one, and then he was going to see where it all went. But he got $500,000 for just making the Super Bowl. This bonus.
I mean,
must be nice.
Yeah. Well,
that's the way it goes, and he's always going to have endorsements and things of that nature. I mean, and he's paid.
Oh yeah.
He just sold an apartment in Manhattan for what, like $30 million or something like that.
Does he make more than his wife yet?
No.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, we don't have enough time for that.
Yeah. But King, thanks for coming on, man. We wish you the best of luck. You have a home here, so whenever you want to come on and talk about anything, you want to promote any of your work. So where can people find you? Like where do we find you? Where do our fans find you? Where do people follow us, our show? Where they go to find you?
Yeah. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. I am King Sharif. I do have a new website coming. I do have Sharif D King Media Mentorship coming as well. And I'm building a You're a Good Sport platform for sports lifestyle. So we're doing that. Sharif D King Media is the company that's going to house a lot of the digital stuff. We're working on a Sharif D King Media app and a Sharif D King Media Mentorship. And so there's 3 parts to it. There's the Sharif D King Media website, the phone app, and then the mentorship piece. And then we're going to go ahead with You're a Good Sport. So I got my hands full, just trying to make sure that I can get into the spaces that I want to get into.
There you go.
And I'm looking to really tap into some sports stuff. I didn't tell nobody about this. This is the first time people are hearing this. I'm doing a sports web series called Eats and Stats, where I sit with different players and we talk about their stats, things that they don't like that they could have did better, and things that they have done and they've celebrated themselves for. We literally, run through the stats and the accolades, and we toast. We have a good time over food. We try different food, different restaurants, different eateries, even some wine, if you will. But that's going to drop on the YourGoodSport.com. So I'm excited. I'm excited. And, lastly, my podcast, King and Moves. So I've been working on that. I'm also on a radio show, Big Mouth Radio. So that's going to be airing in February as well, every Friday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So I got my hands full. I'm still doing some iHeart part time and some voiceover work. So thank you, man. Thank you guys enough. I can't thank you enough. It's been incredible, and you guys keep going. 50.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we're not slow. We're not slowing down.
We're going, dude. Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9. This show's going.
Hey, and next year you're coming to LA with us. You're coming to LA with us, man.
Let's do it.
We're going to the Super Bowl. We're going.
That's already done.
Going
so
there, Super Bowl press week. We already booked the place, so we're going, and hopefully we can see you out there as well. But yeah, the best of luck, in everything. And honestly, I think, this could be some little collaboration with that. You're a good sport and playing the field, got some wheels turning over here.
Oh yeah, we got to talk some business.
So we'll definitely talk about that some more. But you always have a home here, King. And please feel free to share everything with us. When that podcast launches. Your site is up. You're a good sport. We'll blast that out to our network. And get people to tune in and join with whatever you got going on. So it was an absolute pleasure to have you on, and we'll be speaking a lot more soon.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much, man.
Thank you, King. Appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Have a great night, King.
You too.
Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, that was King Sharif. That was good stuff, man.
Yeah. I mean,
he's energetic, bro.
He brought the energy. He's got the hustle. He's got the grind,
100%.
and that's what it's all about. I mean, you can't just go through the motions.
Right.
You have to be in it. And just like I mean, how many other of our guests have said it, but just like last week, like Lonnie was saying, and Stephen, the week before, it's pretty much like you have to be, committed. You have to be committed to what you're doing, and then you'll get to that promised land. You're going to get that daytime show, that nighttime show, that sports entertainment show, because you're putting in the work, and 100%. That's all that you can do. You have to be consistent, like you said, like we've been consistent, and he's been consistent as well. And many of the other people that have been on here, that's why they got to where they were. Just
Absolutely.
Consistency. I mean, you can't play in the NFL without practicing day in, day out. You can't get to the NBA without practicing day in, day out. You have to go put in the work. You can't just say, "Okay, I just want to play baseball."
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it professionally if you're not practicing all the time and you keep honing your craft. So
100%.
We wish nothing but the best for King, and everything he has going on. He definitely has a spot on the show for forever.
Yeah, and if any of our like Pete or Steveland or Lonnie, anybody wants to reach out to the kid, do anything, collaborate with him, please do, man. He's got energy. He's good at what he does. Feel free to reach out to him, reach out to us.
Yes.
We can put you in contact with him. That'd be great. With that being said, we need to get to break down what took place with the Buffalo Bills at the Kansas City Chiefs. And as you were at a Bills with a couple of Bills people watching the game, I will let you have the floor, my friend. So go ahead.
I mean, what can you say? The Bills I wouldn't say the Bills didn't come ready. I think that the Chiefs came a lot more. They showed a lot more than they have. And, I don't know if they were hustling for 17 weeks or something, but, I mean, I've had this argument with a friend of mine. He's like, no, the Chiefs have been lights out all season. but I didn't really agree with it. Like, even last year in the last couple of games leading up to the Super Bowl, like they were down multiple touchdowns, and then they came back. So yeah, of course they could score in a hurry, but what Kelsey and Hill did in this game was just unfathomable. I mean,
Tyreek Hill, man,
they had close to 300 yards combined. What was it? 3 touchdowns combined.
Yep.
And Mecole Hardman, after dropping that punt, he went, all the way down the field, scored, got a 51-yard run. Like, they were just firing on all cylinders. After that, like, not going down those 9 points, you talk a lot about if Lamar Jackson goes down, he never comes back.
Right.
When I feel like Patrick Mahomes needs to go down.
Right.
And he needs to be behind for him to just, like, kick it into a different gear. Like, he just – and turf toe. Like, did it even look like he had turf toe?
Well, he was a little gimpy. He wasn't like the usual Patrick Mahomes, but
like
no, he was able to run.
Somebody with turf toe, yes, he did have a little hitch in his step, a little bit.
Yeah,
but that was just like the guy was playing lights out. I mean, let's just call it what it is. He played, an amazing game. They deserved to win that game. The Bills made it, some mistakes for sure, but it was just, they could not stop them. And honestly, the end of that game was very nauseating. Like you guys lost. Like, you don't have to start a fight every single play. I mean, come on. Like, I know the emotions are high and whatnot, but this is just ridiculous. Like,
Josh Allen firing footballs at people and stuff like
that. Nah, that one was very nonchalant. Okay?
Yeah, no big deal. Let me just throw this in his face. No big deal. Yeah.
He did more of like those, like you have a bottle cap and you could do
right,
a little flick type of thing. But I don't think that was anything to cry to mommy about. But then obviously the guy, stood him up a little bit, and then the offensive lineman came to the rescue and whatnot. But I just think there was too many emotions flying, and they should have just finished that game a lot quicker. But the Chiefs came to play. The Bills did an amazing job this season, and nobody expected them to get to the AFC Championship game.
No, absolutely.
They expected them to win the division, with the Patriots reeling, with losing Brady and everything. But they're going to be on their way soon. Like, they just, Stephon Diggs, he's got that motivation now. He's
he was out there. You saw that picture. He was out there.
Celebration, and just watching it as motivation. And you know what? Like, that's another thing. Like, that goes back to that hustle, that drive, that motivation, whatever. Like, you sit there and you use anything you can to just, keep building yourself up in any way possible. Yeah. And, that was, that was cool to see. But, obviously Allen and Diggs have some kind of rapport, this in just their first season together. So I think, a lot of good things, they need to, get some defensive pieces, and they need to figure out how to get a running game. If they could have had a running game and kept the ball out of you, you're not going to beat Mahomes if you just one-dimensional and can pass the ball. The only way to beat Mahomes is to keep it out of his hand, and you have to keep it out of his hand by running the ball successfully. And that's really what their main downfall was.
Yeah, this game was something else. And I was listening to Colin Cowherd on Monday, and I think he had mentioned something like the Chiefs are like a dynasty. They're kind of like Golden State. And if you think about it, they are, right? Like, Mahomes is like Steph Curry, right? They're down by 10 points, something like that. And then he can just fire 2-3 balls, and they're up 21-10. And you all of a sudden,
it's unbelievable.
Right? And you all of a sudden, you're like, what happened? But Tyreek Hill, man, is something else. This guy by himself, he had like 200 yards by himself, right? I mean, that one play
I don't know what he ended with, but I think it was damn near 200, if not if he didn't actually hit.
And the one play where he broke two guys and just broke it down the side, like up the middle of the field. Like, he is, his talent and his ability is on another level. And I just feel like the Chiefs are like Golden State, like, hitting those threes and then just they could be down 20. And it's funny, I was texting with my buddies. And you and I were texting, but I was texting my friends. I'm like, it's over. I'm telling buddy, it's over, because I kept thinking of the Green Bay game once they got down. But when the Chiefs get down, it doesn't matter, man. They can drop 30 points on you, and you're like, what just happened, right? And they drop, and all of a sudden, it just bang, bang, bang. And I was like, what just happened? Like it was, and then it was like 24-15, and you never felt that Buffalo was coming back into that game. And look, I think as long as Patrick Mahomes is relatively healthy, if they keep him standing in 2 weeks, they're beating the Bucs. I mean, he's just his talent, his poise, just the guy, the way the kid plays, man, is just incredible. And Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, they had Damian Williams running the ball.
Travis Kelce is wide open every play. Like
every play.
You tell me, like every single play, this guy's wide open. Yeah. And Tyreek Hill was wide open most of the plays in the game too.
And you can double them.
Combined for 22 receptions for 290 yards between Kelce and Hill.
Yeah. And I think they were trying to double him, and that didn't work. So I don't know how Tampa's going to stop Tyreek Hill. I mean, I really don't know. Like if you double him,
if you stop Tyreek Hill, you still got Travis Kelce to worry about.
Yeah.
And now you still got a speedster with Hardman, who could
exactly. Now, mind you, the Buccaneers linebackers are pretty good, so they could be able to cover. But they can give the ball to Williams, and he could rush for 120 yards if they wanted to, right? But as long as Mahomes is back there, they're 3-point favorite or 3.5-point favorite. As long as he's back there, man, my money's on them. So, but that was just an incredible performance and you just never honestly, I was texting with them, but in reality, once they scored a touchdown, you just felt the ball, the snowball building and building. And you just knew that they weren't gonna lose that game. So, and their defense is underrated, man. They don't get enough credit. But Honey Badger back there as a safety, I mean, they're a pretty good defense, man. With Frank Clark there, they're a pretty good defense. So I look, they're the team to beat. They're the favorites for a reason. And like I said, as long as 15 is back there, man, and Andy Reid's calling plays, they're unstoppable.
Well, the Buccaneers have a good run defense. They have a great run defense, and they have a good running game as well, and that's the Chiefs' weakness. So if you're going to beat the Chiefs, that's the key to the game.
Right,
is you have to keep that ball out of Mahomes' hand, because anytime he gets that ball, he can pop off at any moment.
Yeah. And, so Todd, the ex-Jets coach Todd Bowles is going to have to come up with a hell of a game plan to stop this team.
And it's not going to be easy.
It's not. But
that kind of momentum, coming into it, because I mean, let's be real. Brady won, but yes, he did throw 3 picks, so it's not like the momentum is on the offensive side of things, or really on the defensive side of things. It was really just a lot of missed execution on the Packers side, and guess who's not missing on the execution?
Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes will not miss on that execution. I mean, he's got, he can hit Kelce, he can hit Hill, he can, he can hand it off to Hilaire or to Bell if he plays. Hardman on end arounds, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many options.
Yeah.
And, obviously you got a head coach that's been around the block and then some. So I think it's just it may not be close. It may be a little competitive, but it's still gonna be fun. To have the GOAT. I mean, because the guy has been there 10 times now against the next coming. Mahomes is primed for his own dynasty. Yeah. He's there for 10 years, $500 million. That guy's going to be a chief, for the next 10 years at the very least. And it's just, it's going to be good to see that, passing of the torch, if you will. Okay, this is officially Patrick Mahomes' league.
Well, now remember, a couple of years ago, Brady did beat him in Kansas City in a championship game. So he does have that.
Of course.
But we got a couple of weeks to talk about it and break it all down. I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a great game. And we'll make our predictions obviously before the Super Bowl. But if you're just a fan, you're saying how do they pull it off? And it's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. I know we're running against the clock here, but I did want to touch on some of the big news that came out today.
Oh, yeah, Hall of Fame.
We're talking about, the Kings of the, King Sharif. We're talking about the Kings of the AFC and the NFC, but who's not going to be, coronated, who's not going to be, getting any crowns or statues or busts in Cooperstown. I almost said Canton, like different league. Bless you. And the MLB has not voted anybody into the Hall of Fame this year. This is actually the 2020 voting, but it got held off. So 2020 takes another victim.
Man, 2020 devoured everybody.
You know what COVID backwards is? The VOC. What the VOC is going on?
Oh, God, man. All right, good.
Okay. So, so you have to get 75% to get voted into the Hall of Fame. And the three top players in their 9th year of eligibility, they have one more chance.
Yeah.
Curt Schilling got 71%. Then came Barry Bonds, just under that, and then it was Roger Clemens. So obviously there's been a lot of speculation about, a lot of different things that have surrounded all three of those players. And Curt Schilling, who actually, has been steadily rising in the last few years as far as his votes go.
Yeah.
He wrote a letter. He says he wants his name taken off of the ballot for next year. He doesn't even want to be considered by the baseball writers. Pretty much, he calls them all a crock of shit or whatever he's saying. Like,
he said a bunch of guys who don't play the game could judge me.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, if some of the veterans out there want to, vote me in, then I'll take it. But I don't, I'm not going to put my, Hall of Fame induction chances in the hands of these, bullshit writers,
right?
For the most part. But obviously, Barry Bonds, there's a lot of baggage to unpack there when it comes to him and Roger Clemens as well. You know what? I don't think any of the three should be in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you.
Look, Schilling is pitching some big games. Obviously, the bloody sock game.
Yeah.
He led, obviously the Diamondbacks to the World Series. Obviously, he was on that team that came back from 3-0 with the Red Sox, Diamondbacks in 2001. He got 71% in his 9th year. Usually when you get to that point, by the next year, you usually get in. But I think he's just turned so many people off that I don't know that.
He had a lot of, bad social media
stuff.
Posts and then on air stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and then as far as Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens, look, Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before all the steroid stuff. I don't care what anybody says. That guy was great before all that. And just because he took steroids, I don't, look, he hit more. Did he hit more home runs? Yeah. Did it extend his career a few years? Yeah. But Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer, period. The same with Roger Clemens. He was a Hall of Famer before that as well. And so, yes, they took steroids, but a lot of players during that era were taking steroids. It wasn't just them, right? Like people seem to think, it was just these certain guys. No, everybody was doing it. McGuire was doing it. They were all doing it. So as far as I'm concerned, look, they were all doing it. They were all playing on a level playing field because they were all cheating, right? I don't see why. So the baseball writers holding this against Bonds and Clemens because of this sort of, they're holier than thou thing. No, they belong in the Hall of Fame. Now, if you want to put a plaque that they played in this kind of era, so be it. But look, you got guys in the Hall of Fame who scuffed the ball, they said they put spit on the ball and all that stuff. And so I don't see, why you can't put these guys in the Hall of Fame. They're Hall of Famers, period. The rest of this list, Scott Rowland, I never saw Scott Rowland as a Hall of Famer. Omar Vizquel, Billy Wagner, Todd Helton, Gary Sheffield, really. Andrew Jones, no. And Jeff Kent, people said Jeff Kent was a Hall of Famer. I don't see it either. So, but it is sad that nobody got inducted this year. I would like to see in the next couple of years, Barry Bonds, Clemens, get in. And then next year, you got A-Rod, David Ortiz, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, Teixeira. I don't think Teixeira's a Hall of Famer. Lincecum coming up. Again,
wow, Lincecum already?
yeah. He's been, right. He's been retired. Look, A-Rod was a Hall of Famer before all the steroid stuff. I don't care what anybody says. The guy was a tremendous talent. He should belong in the Hall of Fame, but the writers are going to hold it against him for the sanctity of the game, what have you. So, but it's what it is. So hopefully, look, I'd like to see Bonds and Clemens in the Hall of Fame. I think they belong there. Everybody was doing it. They should be in there as well. So
yeah, I'm actually surprised that low. But like with the Bonds thing, I'm surprised that he didn't get a little bit more on the votes. Especially with the news over the weekend with Hank Aaron passing away, and I think that should have maybe bought him a couple of votes. Because he's his godson, right? But obviously, but they put them both together. But that's just. I guess that's me being sentimental, I guess.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, they're always going to hold the steroid thing against them.
Yeah.
Obviously, with him breaking the records, people, the baseball's records are like sanctimonious. But like I said, all these writers, man, all these guys were doing it. All these guys were cheating. All these guys were juicing up. So for these guys to be singled out like that, it's not right. They all played in that era.
I wonder which way our friend went, friend Jordan, on any of these votes. But
interesting. Got to ask him.
But you know what? He did turn me around on the whole Pete Rose thing. I mean, he blew my mind on that one. And for those of you who did not watch that episode, go check it out. I think it was episode 23.
23. Yeah.
Yeah. Jordan.
And he's right. Look, Pete Rose cheated on the game. He's right.
No, he definitely brought up some really good points on that. If you want to go back and listen to that. But yeah, I mean, obviously we had a great show.
Great show.
I mean, hey, let's start off, the next 50, with a bang. I mean,
exactly.
King Sharif, he brought the energy tonight, and fresh off of an amazing weekend in sports, and it was just better way to start it all off.
And we also broke the news to our fans that it's the Fan Experience TV now. Fan Experience TV.
I think we might have to get like a newer, updated logo.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
But we've evolved podcast to TV. This is the place where you talk sports, interview the best of the best, get the insights, get the know-how,
we did last Thursday. We didn't have a guest. We were just talking sports, and we were inviting you all to come on and give you your hot takes. Joe McGrath, he came on. He was talking about his favorite teams, and sharing a little bit about what he's got going on. And so we want you guys to to join us and and talk to us and tell us your takes on what's going on in the world of sports. But we're going to do a lot more of those types of shows going forward for sure.
Yeah, we want to do a lot of more of those shows. We want to get you guys involved, talk about your experiences, talk about what's on your mind. Obviously baseball season's coming up, so hopefully we get some of our baseball guests back to break down the season and see where it goes. But we want you guys involved. We want you guys sharing your questions and your thoughts, and this is a place for you to, obviously, you call a radio station, you're on hold for what is it, Mike? Like an hour and a half?
An hour and 40 minutes.
An hour and 40 minutes, and you get maybe 25 seconds.
I got on to WFAN last week, and I got 15 seconds. So Craigie, if you're listening, I need a couple more seconds, and I want you to come on the show, and let's chat for a little bit, But regardless, let's wrap this one up. We got a great show ahead of us for Thursday as well. And, come back, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. All the places shown on the bottom left of your screen. Yep. And, we'll see you then. Until then, have Thursday a great night, everybody. And
go Knicks. We're up 5 now.
There we go. And as always, this is brought to you in part by Playing the Field. Playing the Field is a sports fan online community and dating app exclusively for sports fans. And here is our word from our sponsor as we sign off. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace.
Do you want to meet other sports enthusiasts like yourself? Playing the field can help you connect with people who love sports as much as you do. For friendship or romance. You can showcase up to 5 of your favorite teams on your profile trading card to make it easier to find fellow sports fans. Now you can talk about sports, go to the games, or play sports with others who share your interests. Find out more at playthefieldnow.com.